Good day, we're below stairs at Glanmore just now. And today I thought we ought to have a closer look at something most of us do every day. A simple mundane task that many of us do with barely a second thought, but something that deserves a little bit closer attention. Something that affects both our health and the health of our homes. I am speaking, of course, of lamp cleaning and wick trimming. Having a properly cleaned and trimmed lamp means that you'll have better light to work by, less smoke, which means less soot on your ceilings and walls to clean, and better health overall. Now, every day you ought to refill your lamps and clean them. It's very important that you're familiar with the mechanisms of your lamps so that you can properly take them apart and clean them. There is, of course, the daily cleaning, but you need to be familiar enough with your mechanisms that you're able to take the lamp completely apart so that periodically you can wash the lamp inside and out. Now, if you're going to do that, you need to be sure that you rinse the lamps very thoroughly and let them dry completely before you re-add oil and set them back up. It is quite common for a bit of burnt paper or burnt wick or even the end of a lucifer match to fall down inside the workings of your lamp, and that they can become encrusted and create a great deal of excess smoke, and we don't want that. On a daily basis, you should top up your fuel oil, and you want to make sure that even the vessel that you keep your fuel oil in is clean, because it could introduce contaminants that we do not want. After you've topped them up, you should wipe up any spills with a rag you keep specifically for that purpose, and then you must clean your lamps. Here I'm using a soft flannel cloth, flannel is best, with just a very mild soap suds solution and some lukewarm water. I'm going to clean both the glass and the metalwork with this same fashion, making sure I'm getting rid of any soot or dust that has happened since yesterday's cleaning. Now, if you have a brasswork lamp, you'll not want to use soapy water. I would recommend you find some rotten stone and hammer that, pulverize it to a fine dust, and then mix that with a light oil to create a fine paste. And you can use that paste to rub into the brasswork, and that will shine up a brass lamp beautifully. It will give it the luster of gold. But you must be very careful in that if your brasswork has been lacquered, that lacquer is there to protect the brasswork. And if you use that paste I'm speaking of, it will remove the lacquer, and we don't want that. Once you have cleaned the surface of your lamps, you'll need to turn your attention to the chimneys. And the chimneys we want to treat a little differently. We certainly don't want to submerge these in water or really use much for water on them at all. For these we're going to use wash leather, and this is a very, very soft sheepskin that's been oil tanned. I've heard them called chamois. That might be of French origin, I'm not sure. But I know them as wash leathers. And this is great for removing any soot or smoking of the glass. If you have trouble reaching inside there, you can always grab a stick or a spoon and create a wash leather pad and reach all the way up in to remove any debris or dirt. We don't want to submerge these in water, because if you do that, when they go back on the lamps, they heat up and they're quite prone to cracking or breaking after they've been in water. So once we've cleaned the lamp inside and out, we then have to trim the wick. One ought to keep a pair of scissors specifically for the purpose of trimming wicks. It doesn't really matter if they're special scissors like these with the box for catching the wick offcut, or if they're just a standard pair of scissors. But you don't want to use your scissors that you've used on the oil-laden wick on anything else around your home. When you're trimming your wick, you can either trim straight across, in an arc, or to a point. And each trim has its own benefits or drawbacks. For the sake of demonstration, I will show you straight across with one and a point with the other. So I will just draw these straight across. It does tend to be a little messy. There we go. And this one will do to a point. Make sure you don't leave any wick bits inside the mechanism or littering up the lamp. And here you can see the difference that the wick trim has made. This lamp, trimmed straight across, gives a very low but a very consistent light, as where this lamp wick, trimmed to a point, gives a higher, brighter flame, but you tend to get a bit more flicker, and some people don't care for that. Here at Glanmore, we not only have oil lamps like these, but a much more modern style of lighting. It too needs to be cleaned every day. Allow me to show you. We really are very privileged here at Glanmore, that when the house was built, gas lines were put in. And that means that we have quite a number of very fine gas fixtures. Gas fireplaces, gas sconces, and gasoliers like this one. Now they still do need to be cleaned, but a gas fireplace is much less vigorous in cleaning than a coal fireplace or even a wood fireplace. You don't need to restoke them, and lighting them is much easier. Gas fixtures like this, gas lights like this, you don't need to trim the wick. Of course, you do still need to clean them, and you'll clean them with a soft flannel or a very soft brush. And the globes, you should wash with a wash leather, just as you would the chimney of an oil lamp. But best of all about these are the keys. This device here, which works like the spigot on a cask. You turn it to release more or less fuel to create a brighter or dimmer light. A lovely modern convenience to provide light all through the evening. Thank you for stopping by Glanmore today. I hope you will be diligent about keeping your lamps and gas lights clean and well trimmed. And whether it's by gaslight or by daylight, I hope we will see you at Glanmore again soon. Good day.